And welcome back. You're listening to, well, the quickest way home, Home Wizard. Cindy Dole here, where every Saturday from 2 to 4 we talk about ways to improve that place you call home, the inside, the outside, those spaces, just so that when you get home, you feel like this is pretty darn good. And June, is a great month for all kinds of things, those to-dos around your house, around your apartment. So I thought that we'd spend some time going through some of the things that I think that you just might want to put on that list. If you haven't already, you might already. But by the way, if you don't have this, it's really, really helpful because there's so many things that go through your mind through the week. I know, as you're driving along, maybe you're driving right now, I keep these little large Post-it notes and you go, oh, I'm going to do this weekend. Oh, I got to do that. But in terms of things for your home, I love to have this 3-ring binder and some dividers and a labeler and then maybe some dividers with pockets. And then I love getting those plastic sheet protectors and all those things together. So this is your home and garden to-dos organization book. And that's a great place where throughout the week, as you're getting all these different ideas and you're jotting down notes in your car, then instead it goes to this notebook and stays there. And then when you can't remember what you had planned to do, ooh, poof, it's in the book and you got it. And so in this planner, you can basically have a one-stop shop for all of your projects, the maintenance things. You can stash pictures of ideas for the home and garden. So I really think it's a great way to not feel stressed and then just kind of be on target in terms of seasonal things, like we were talking with Lance, things seasonally to do to your garden or things maintenance-wise seasonally to do inside. It's kind of handy to have all that. So just a little, FYI. So here are some projects to think about. First of all, this weekend and this month. First, painting. It's always great to add a new coat and a new color to a room, right? And after seeing the Pasadena Showcase House, I'm still loving this paint that reminded me of celery green. It was very fresh and light, and I love the idea, too, of adding a bold, deep gray or chocolate brown on a wall. But I'm sure you've heard us talk about this. Before you even paint, one of the really, really critical things to do is prep. I mean, it is all about the prep because that's going to give you that precise, very professional painter look to whatever you do. Well, how do you know how to prep? Well, do I have a little tip for you? Guess what? This weekend, in fact, today and tomorrow, the folks at Scotch Blue Painters Paint, they're offering this free phone consultation, guidance to help you along. And they're calling it the Pro Prep Patrol. Say that 3 times fast. And it's a team of their expert painters, and they're on call to help you with all this free painting prep advice. And so they're available to 6 tonight, and then again tomorrow from 6 in the morning till 6 p.m. So here's the number. It's 855-HLP-PAINT. 855-HLP-PAINT. And they're going to tell you how to prep so that your painting job will look very precise and very professional. So check that out. Now, to some of the maintenance things that you should think about. I was watching the show Modern Family, very funny scene where the smoke detector in the house keeps going beep, 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 beep. Does that happen to you? And you know that means that the battery's dead. And one of the lead role guys says, the man of the house, this is man 101. I should be able to know where it is. But he's walking around throughout the entire show, and he can't figure out which of the detectors until he's smashing them in one by one. And it turns out that the one going beep, 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 beep is up in the attic. And it was like the old one that they never took the batteries out of, and it was just kind of sitting there making that noise. So anyway, June is a good time, just like changing your smoke detector, to check up on your air conditioner. We got a call from our guys on this. You don't want to wait until it dies to have it serviced because before you know it, it's going to be very, very hot. So you want to get a tune-up for both your heating and cooling and have a professional coming out. They're going to make sure that the condenser coil is working, that they're going to replace the dirty filters. They're going to calibrate the thermostat, and the goal is to get it all working correctly before all of a sudden you need to turn on the AC and it's not working for you. So put that on your little note of things to do, okay? It's a very, very handy thing that you want to remember. Speaking of thermostat, if you don't have a programmable thermostat, now's the time. The old school thermostat, it's going to cause you a lot of wasted money and energy. Such an easy way to stay cool and hold on to the cold, hard cash. And by installing one of these programmable thermostats, they can run you anywhere from like $30 to $80. And they really are going to pay for themselves. And some tips: you never want to put your thermostat, that is, by a fireplace. Basically, you don't want to put it where all of a sudden it's going to feel or get a reading that's hotter than it really is, right? You don't want to put it on an outside wall. You never want to put it where the sun can shine on it. So there's a great video, by the way, if you go to the This Old House website, a great how-to on how to install your programmable thermostat. Another thing you want to think about is flip the switch on the ceiling fans. You know, fans are more than a decorative thing for the ceiling, and this is a good time to take a look at your ceiling fan. And most of the fans run in two directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. So during the warmer months, your ceiling fan should be set to run in the counterclockwise direction, so it will create that downward draft. And then, contrary to popular belief, by the way, ceiling fans do not actually reduce the indoor temperature, but they do make you feel quite a bit cooler, don't they? Because they're going to give you that that little circulating air across your skin and gives you that wind chill effect. But it's been shown that if you do use a ceiling fan, and you turn up your thermostat by several degrees without experiencing decreased comfort levels, so that's something kind of cool, literally. Another thing, think about repairing your window and door screens. Window and door screens should let the fresh air in and everything else out, and if it's damaged, the screens can allow the insects in and the leaves and the debris to get into the house, so keep those unwanted visitors off the guest list and inspect all your window and door screens for rips and punctures. And here's another good thing. Speaking of the gardening that we were doing just a moment ago, get a soil moisture sensor. This is something you can get at any of the big box stores or your favorite nursery, because water, of course, is such a precious commodity, especially on the lawn. Most yards don't require that frequent soaking that they get. So, to prevent overwatering, you get one of these soil moisture sensors, and they're very, very effective, and they're basically going to tell you. You can have it installed by a professional, or you can do it yourself, and it's going to save you probably about 11,000 gallons of water each year. Huge, huge, huge. Now, as you're thinking about gardening, if you're wanting to get some ideas, I found this great slideshow. It's at Better Homes and Gardens website. If you go to bhg.com, they have all of these must-have perennials for 2011. Very, very vavoom, very fun colors, yellows and oranges and purples, and you're just not going to believe it. So that's a great way to get some inspiration. But at the same time, before you shop for flowers, think about all the senses in your garden. You want to look for plants and things that are going to make you feel about touch. You want plants that have different forms and different textures. You want to think, of course, about scent and about taste. Plant, herbs throughout the garden and the edibles like we were talking about earlier. And sound. Add the sound of trickling water in a fountain or any of that. And plants that produce interesting seed pods and berries to invite the birds and those kind of sounds. And then, of course, sight. You want to have some very interesting exotic plants, tall grasses that are going to sway gracefully, and create a sense of mystery by planting paths that disappear behind the tall plantings to draw visitors further into beyond. Now, a couple of very cool finds I have to share with you. This is this light. Now, it's very, very expensive. It's an LED strip that is waterproof, and it diffuses light over a broad area. The company's called Vibia, and the light is called the Haley lamp, and it basically is this arch that is anchored to the ground on both sides of, let's say, your patio table, and it has this glowing light, and it's lightweight, and it looks literally like Halley's Comet. Guess what, though? It costs you $2,000. Kind of cool, but kind of expensive. And another very fun find, the Kalamazoo Outdoor Grill people are now out with their high-end outdoor dishwasher. It costs you nearly $5,000. Well, it's kind of like for the person who has everything, but, if you really want to have that true indoor-outdoor living experience, why not? So coming up on the show next Saturday, the fun continues. We have got some great topics and guests to talk to. I hope you enjoy listening today, by the way. But next Saturday, we're going to talk about spectacular gardens using California native plants from hillside to the rustic canyon. Then what feng shui decor has to do with your love life. Two sisters say that feng shui for love, that they have an app for this, that'll help guide singles to create the home decor that attracts the love of your life. And then we'll also find out some more great ideas from a couple of tarts. They call themselves the Garden Tarts, and they're going to show up at your garden. They're going to help dress it up and style it up and give it the look that you want. Not just the plants, but the decorative things like the pots and the urns and all kinds of fun things, mobiles. So all that's coming up next Saturday, 2 to 4, Home Wizards here on KFWB. Have a great time. Be sure to get the free app, Cindy Dole app at Home Wizards, cindydole.com. Follow me on Facebook. The conversation continues. And until next time, remember this. The key is under the mat. Bye-bye.